evening, fellow traders. Welcome back to the Wolf Den Trader Takeaways. It's another episode. We're coming at you Monday, July 15th. What a day today. If you're a trader, you know about CAPR, that micro float just taking off today. We think we have found the motive on that, so stay tuned for that. Also CLDC and CEI. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and roll right to executions. Rebecca, thank you so much. Now, we're looking at CAPR on the 1 minute executions on the left. Also, if you look to the right, I have a 5-minute chart up with some levels. And also, let's take a look real quick. It's a biotech, 3.4 million shares outstanding. We closed today with a 22 million cap and massive volume today. Massive range, relatively speaking. Massive volume. We had some news coming out. Look at this news feed right here. Still cruising back, 6 a.m. They announced positive results for an interim trial. If we dug a little bit deeper into the news, and it was a minimal trial. There wasn't too many patients involved. We didn't get too in depth into this phase 2 results, but we do know that there's motive involved in it. So if we hop over to the Wolf Trading Discord room, right, open enrollment, about 18 seats left in this. We have a fundamental room where we have all these fundamental dilution packages. Now, CAPR has an S3 out from 10/24/2018. It's a 75 million prospectus. It's not active and there's no 424 on it, but we believe that H.C. Wainwright is trying to raise the MVPHS on it so that they can go ahead and dilute. Now, we looked in the 10K and we looked in the 10Q, so we know how much they already raised their net financing rounds, and they're not eligible to raise with their current MVPHS. So we are under the thesis that they are pushing to raise the MVPHS, right? The MVPHS is projected off the highest 60-day close, and then we can, or they can dilute 1/3 of the MVPHS per TTL, trailing 12 months. Now, with that said, let's move over here to the 3-year chart. Now, the first thing I notice on the 3-year chart is right here. This is a 1-for-10 reverse split, and that happened on 6/4. So that's a recent reverse split, right? Usually when a reverse split happens, the institutions and the insiders are trying to get rid of their shares, right? As long as they're not vested, whatever they can do, they will usually trim their position. They're not going to want to hold into a split. So when there's a split, usually the non-affiliate public float is generally the closest that it will normally be to the OS. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, hop in the Wolf Trading Room on Discord. It's open enrollment. We'd love to go over the filings with you. And like I said, we have a new dilution package out. No other room's doing it. Jump in the room, give us a look. Now, here's a 3-year chart. Sideways trash. That's my first initial reaction to this chart. We're trading in the 40s, and then look at this gap down to $6, and then we go back up $6 to 42. Now, this looks like, I mean, H.C. Wainwright, they're already underwriting some of the other filings on this name, and this stinks right here of institutional manipulation. Now, it's not really $6 to 42, it's really 60 cents to $4.20 because we have a fresh 1-for-10 on the chart. But with that being said, look at this manipulation grind, right? Sideways downward grind. Now, this is a 3-year chart. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Massive volume today. Today was a day where we popped off. I mean, the relative volume is off the chain right now because of that 10-for-1 split. But, 66 to 100 times normal volume today. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Enhance. So here we go. Gap up, right? And I left my previous levels. The green levels are majority LVNs, right? So I added those, but I left my levels prior. 750 was resistance for me. Look, we have some topping action here at 750, and then I have some other levels, right? This is my volume profile. Now let me zoom out real quick. We are going to get to the trade. Just bear with me. Right here. So here's normal volume, right? You're looking at the normal profile right here. This, besides today, this is normal volume traded. And then look at this. Now, this isn't even coming out far. This is just massive volume, right? This is a agenda volume. Now, when there's agenda volume, something's going on. And this is what it is. We believe, we already explained it. So here, pre-market, let's just get into executions. So we're hopping in the trade. We're attacking off of a higher low, or we're attacking the highs off of a projected lower high. So here's executions right here. Massive executions today on this one trade. We traded it a lot. We were aggressive on it, and we were not risk adverse. So here's the first consolidation. We're not cutting at highs. I'm just waiting for exhaustion, giving it a little bit of leeway, right? A little latitude on this one because the range is so pretty. So we popped down after a new pre-market high, and then I trimmed majority of the position off at seller exhaustion. It's an advanced stop technique, which I'm still trying to work on myself. Now here I am continuing to get in. We look like we have a little bit of weakness forming. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. This thing is just massive. Look at this trend coming up. Super, super strong. Here's my averages that go along with the trade. And so I'm just adding, I'm building into a pre-market position, and then we get a nice flush. Now I know the micro float on this is around 2 million, give or take. I didn't go into the proxies. If you guys know the exact non-affiliate, leave it in the comments, man. I appreciate that. So here we are trimming again, and then adding back into support. Now, this was a low add because of VWAP here, but like I said, the range was so pretty. So here we go, building back and adding more shares right here into buyer exhaustion. Now, at this point, I have a 619 average, and we're trading at like 640, 650. So we come down, and I'm going to have to take half the position off. Now, here's my covers, right? So this cover was negative. This cover's for profit, for profit, for profit, for negative, right, negative profit. So I just want to show you guys that I'm working this average up, basically small red. Yeah, I wouldn't even say even. I'm losing a little bit, but I'm carrying a position up into a higher average. And that's my goal on the front side. This is not the goal right here. This is a big position that I accumulated, but I want to move up, right? I want to be able to catch every backside. And if I can stay small red or small green on the front, I'm going to catch the back. And then here I am just getting a little loose at the bell. I'm not trimming into weakness. Now I had 667 targets, and in the room I reported that I pulled those targets and brought them down to like 609 and 603. That's just me being greedy because of this initial weakness from 730 down to like 670. That's 60 cents on a $7.30 stock, right? That's like 15%. 10 or 15%. So then we get a massive push. This is when the manipulators, H.C. Wainwright, this is when they showed their hand. Now there's no way that we're going to get 780,000 shares in 1 minute, which is basically doubling 2.5 times the high, like this is the baseline volume at this point is around 250K. So they're just straight up tripling the baseline volume of the in-play stock. Now, when that happens, I'm thinking manipulation. So I think they're going to push and they're shaking out shorts, and then I think they're going to dump on longs. I think it's a trap on top of a trap. So I hang in right here, which was, man, I was at the mercy of the market right here. Oh, man, it's not good. And then we come back down, and I know that this was way unnecessary of risk, especially when we started to possibly form a higher low right here. I was a little nervous, and I had to trim like 3/4 at least. I hope it was 3/4. It looks like it was 3/4 right here. Quarter. So I'm still carrying a quarter from 677, and then we finally get some weakness. And now I'm adding into the strength that we have. There's a lot of executions on this chart. I had 81 tickets today, but the share sizes, I traded a lot of shares today. Too many, actually. There's no excuses for that. This was a large position. It was a large winner, but too risky and not enough trimming. So I'm reading in the files, and I'm building a fundamental conviction, which can get me in trouble. I'm not trimming off the position. So I'm just running this channel, but I'm not trimming because I'm so convicted, fundamentally convicted in this fade. And, I know that, or I don't know, but I have a thesis that H.C. Wainwright is going to try to to close strong to raise the MVPHS. But here I am. Just these are long signals, right? We're breaking through VWAP. This is a long signal. This should be a short cut, but I just didn't want to cut the position today. Could have been in a lot of trouble. So here we are, raising the average up. Here we are breaking new highs, right? This is a from 840 down to 630 is $1.90, right? $2 on top of 8 is 25%. So this is a 25 to 22% retracement, right? And then we're going to retake highs. That's not common. That's not common at all. And I have statistics on this, and I added. I'm not going to cut right here, knowing the statistics. Not saying it's right or wrong, but I added. And then at this point, I'm sized in good. I'm in a healthy position right now with a terrible average, and I'm watching the order flow like my grandma's, secret sauce recipe. I'm Italian. Watching this order flow. I got 3 tapes on this thing. My average is terrible. We need a flush. Now, we're at the mercy of the market at this point. This is bad. Very, very bad, but I'm watching the order flow, and it looks like we're backside. Now they make another push. This push right here, we got some more agenda volume coming in. 250K. Now I'm looking. Look on the bottom here. That's 250K. You can fingerprint them, right? Agenda volume, and it lines up with this. It lines up with this. Them selling. It's a little bit of an art. You just kind of you feel the volume, but you can tell. Manipulation. Agenda, manipulation. You can kind of get in a rhythm with them, and then once you spot that happen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times that they projectedly ran this tape, you can kind of get a feel for what's going on, and you're comparing that to the sell side, if that makes sense. So here we are, just running stops. That's what these guys are doing. They're trying to gain back profit from all the shares that they had to accumulate in the push, because they're going to dump them, but they need to trap the liquidity to get out. They have a massive position. They need to trap liquidity. So they're trapping liquidity at 780. They're getting the bids up, and they're raising it on top of VWAP, because that's a long signal. So longs are going to get in. Longs are going to have support, or longs are going to have liquidity sitting on top of 780. They're going to have liquidity sitting on top of VWAP, and they're going to have liquidity a little bit underneath it, right? And then these guys get the numbers that they want on the level 2 or the level 3, whatever it is they're looking at, whatever the machine says, and then they flip the switch and they pull the bid, and then they hit the bid. And that's what happened. So this is whoever this player is, they're getting out right here, and then we get a long panic. All the longs that are in it. Now the majority of this volume right here, if we look on the bottom, is uptick volume. So the majority of this volume is buying volume, right? So now this consolidation is trapped underwater. So this is what we call, I guess you could call it a kill candle, or different rooms call it different things. But this is a panic. Longs are in panic. The manipulator's pushing. The longs are running stops, and it's lights out. Now 677 I called out in the room was a decision point. So based off of previous volume and the respect that we were getting. So 677 right here, I call that level out in the halt, but 677 did act as a little bit of support. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And I was going to trim here if we pushed to VWAP and came back down, if we started to look strong, maybe not to VWAP and down, but this was a possible trim. And I like the reaction here. I had about 7 minutes to watch this battle on the tape, right? So I'm watching the tape. I'm watching the medium-sized tape. I'm watching the color. I'm watching who's in control, and I'm watching the size of the prints. Now I have conviction that sellers are still in control, and I leave my 607 target. Had a 607 target. I reported that target into the room, and we bottom ticked it. Also, too, I forgot to add my last ad right here was off of this, just the daily support line that I came up with. I had 2 of these lines, and they're very similar. So I had orders out here, sideways support turning into resistance, and that was a great ad right there. That raised my average up, and once we got that instant flush, I was a little bit relieved, to be honest. So here we are. my last entry is around 850. I'm not taking profit. I'm letting this thing flush $2.50 before I'm hitting the trigger. I was guns hot the whole time, but I've traded enough of these fades and enough of these just these drops, these kills, these drops, whatever you want to call them, to know that emotions can take you out of the game. Now, I should have already been out of this position, but the last thing I want to do is let a loser run and then cut my winner short. That's no way, right? So the one thing I did today was stick to my targets and not let the P&L get to me. And I don't even have P&L on the screen, but I know my average and I know the range. I can't void that out of my mind, but there's no numbers on my screen to look at it. I'm looking at my size though. So then I'm just trying to exit the position here. Some large orders. 2,200 shares. We're taking some shares out here, 1,800. So we're unwinding this position. This was a large position for me. Big winner, but I'm still not happy. I'm not comfortable with the trading I had today. And then we get into pre-market, and normally I would hold this, but for some reason I didn't trade this properly, and I just wanted to get out of the position, and I wanted to have the chart printed and watch the chart. And after this chart, there's going to be new rules in place, max daily position size and max front position size. So I know that was a little bit long, guys. We went over that trade 15 minutes, but there's a lot of learning in there because there's a lot of mistakes. Big winner, big mistakes, right? We learn from our mistakes. So let's just pull up CEI. Now, I'm sure you guys know about CEI. It was a runner last week. It's still showing a little bit of strength. They want to shake out the previous day's shorts is what they look like they want to do. So here was Friday. We're catching levels right here. 466 is a secondary consolidation. 160 is my main target on this bad boy. So here's my levels on it. Here's my executions on it off of those levels. I'm still carrying a position from yesterday, so I'm scalping on top of a core, if that makes sense. I'm just adding into strength, and this was a 4-to-1. My trader accountability buddy pointed that out to me. He said, "Why didn't you trim here? With this risk right here, this is a 4-to-1 risk reward. I probably should have trimmed the position, but CEI." I'm taking this thing back down to $1.60 is where I'm taking it. It needs to go home. So here we go. I'm just leaning into strength. This was a guns hot top tick. And I do finally trim right here because I'm starting to build a position a little bit larger than I probably should, which is another trader error. So I do trim the position early at VWAP in case we get that potential push. But CEI, like I said, is going home to $1.60. So here we go. I trim some more of the position around 404 and 401, and I add it back. Now this is when I load up projected lower high, but right on top of VWAP gives me a 438 average. The potential time to load up would have been here, or even here, or here. Right here would probably have been the best time to load up, but I do not touch the targets, right? Because I've been watching CEI for about a week and a half now. I'm stalking this thing, right? Peeking through the blinds, watching it like a cheetah in the bushes, whatever. I know the order flow. Excuse me. I know the players in it, and I know where it's going, so I hold off. Now we get a little nibble here. Tape just kind of freezes a little bit, and then we get a small crack, and then I reported my targets into the room. I reported my targets, and I left them. And then about 45 seconds later, it just cracks right down to my targets. These were in front of the tape. We got 355, 367, and 371. That was nice. That was lights out. That was a good one. That put it green for the day. There's no matter what, I'm not going to be able to turn this into a red anymore. So then I had ads out here to add. I didn't catch it. We come back down. Now we're just kind of downtrending, and I do finally get an ad off right here. I had a 382 and a 386 out, 388, something like that. And then I had a 55 target out. We didn't catch it. It was close, but I'm not going to chase this thing. I'm already in a core. I'm already in a swing, so I'm just going to add today's shares to the swing a ding, and we're going to take this bad boy down to $1.60. CLDC. This is the last trade of the day. CLDC. Now CLDC, excuse me. CLDC was not that big of a trade actually. I just got the starter on. Let's see the levels. Okay, so here's the levels on it. Here's my green lines is the main channel. The white lines is the secondary volume deposit, and then these are just inside lines off of the channel. So I got a starter on here at 128, and I'm watching these dark pool prints, possible technical manipulation, which we see every day. We're so used to it by now. It's just like home sweet home anyway. And then I just take half of the position off at 115, and I'm looking to add back. I had orders probably around 125 all the way up to 134, looking to add back, right? We want to see strength. Now, we got strength today. We got it on the first chart. I forget the name, CARP. We got strength, right? And we got a lot of strength, but we always want strength, and we want to be able to have the skill and the mindset and the dedication and professionalism to act on our plans. Today we voided the plan, or we strayed a little bit from it, taking half the position off. Now I didn't get that fill, so I have like half a starter. When I got half a starter, I'm just gonna take the rest off at the next target. Normally, if I would have got filled, I always keep for you guys know I keep for those low targets. And let's look at my levels, right? 82, 95 would have been my next two targets. Now these levels are already on the target, right? This thing starts running pre-market in the morning. I already have these levels. That's the best thing about it. So you're looking at my targets. They both would have hit. I just didn't have enough size because we didn't get any strength. Now, with that being said, let's hop over to the Wolf Den room real quick. Here's the fundamental room. Now, we got some really talented guys in the room. Shout out to the guys who nailed CAPR. We had some guys taking profit. We all took profit at like $6 today, 602, 604, guys killing it. C-Dub, he's just setting up his triple tape system. We have a new series for members only called the ODF, the Order Flow Dynamics, the OFD. And this guy's already catching flushes off the medium-sized tape. So shout out to C-Dub. Great job. Here's a VISL dilution package in the Wolf, in the Discord Wolf trading room. So they have an S1A out for $55 million. Then they have a 424 B4 out for 11.1 million, and then here's the warrant package. The filing just came out. 711 was the effect, and 712 was a 424. So these are the underwriters, and these are their shares. They have pre-funded warrants, and they have warrants. So we're basically, and here's the link underneath. We're making it so easy a caveman can do it, right? That's the whole point. Look at this fundamental package room we got going on. We're looking for talented traders. If you guys have passion for trading, join the room, man. We want to talk. We want to see what you guys are trading. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for your time. Let's all have a better day tomorrow. Big green day today, but we don't like how it happened. We're going to be spending all night trying to fix this and be more risk adverse. All right, guys. This is the Wolf. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening.